Why does our society still shroud mental health in a veil of taboo and mystery? A question that, as we peel back the layers, reveals a deeply rooted stigma. A stigma that, like an invisible chain, holds many men captive, preventing them from seeking help for their mental health. In the grand tapestry of our world, men are often portrayed as the pillars of strength, the unwavering rocks amidst the storm. Our societal norms and expectations paint a picture of men as impervious to emotional pain, as entities who must bear their burdens alone. This, my friends, is a damaging and dangerous misconception. The expectation for men to be strong and independent can often translate into a perceived need to suppress emotions, to mask pain, and to bear the heavy weight of mental health issues in silence. This can lead to untreated mental health conditions and, tragically, a sense of isolation and despair. But why should seeking help be seen as a sign of weakness rather than strength? Why do we still hang on to these archaic notions of masculinity? It's high time we challenge these norms. Let's pull back the curtain and shine a light on the truth that mental health issues are not a sign of weakness, but a part of the human condition. They are as real and as significant as any physical ailment. Mental health is not a battle to be fought alone. It's a journey, a road that can sometimes be rough and rocky, but one that can be navigated with the right support and understanding. It's time we redefined what it means to be strong. True strength lies in acknowledging when we need help and having the courage to seek it. We need to foster a society where men feel comfortable discussing their mental health, where they're encouraged to reach out when they're struggling, and where they're applauded, not shamed for showing their vulnerability. Indeed, the first step towards change is recognizing there's a problem. And the problem, my friends, is clear. We must unmask the stigma surrounding men's mental health. It's time to break the chains, to redefine strength, and to start a conversation that could save lives. But what happens when the struggle is silent, hidden behind the be strong and man up cliches? This is the question that we often overlook, yet it's essential to understanding the mental health crisis facing men today. It's a crisis that's often shrouded in silence, a silent struggle that can lead to devastating consequences if not addressed. In a society that prizes stoicism and resilience, men are often conditioned to bottle up their emotions, to put on a brave face, and to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. This societal expectation can make it difficult for men to seek help when they're struggling with their mental health, leading to untreated conditions and increased risk. Mental health issues do not discriminate. They can affect anyone, regardless of gender, age, or background. But the stigma surrounding mental health often hits men particularly hard. The fear of being perceived as weak or less masculine can deter men from seeking help, even when they're in dire need of support. This stigma can have dire consequences. Studies have shown that men are more likely to die by suicide than women, a shocking fact that underscores the urgency of addressing this silent struggle. It's not just about suicide, though. Untreated mental health conditions can also lead to a host of other issues, including substance abuse, relationship problems, and a diminished quality of life. The silent struggle is a burden that no one should have to bear alone. It's a struggle that's hidden behind the mask of masculinity, behind the man-up cliches, behind the pressure to be strong. But it's a struggle that's all too real for many men. It's easy to dismiss what we can't see. It's easy to ignore the silent struggle, to pretend that it doesn't exist. But the reality is that mental health issues are a serious problem, and they're not going away. It's a silent struggle, but silence doesn't mean it's not there. It's time to break the silence. It's time to acknowledge the silent struggle, to confront the stigma, and to create a society where men feel comfortable seeking help for their mental health. Because no one should have to struggle in silence. Ever wondered how much of what we believe about mental health is fact or fiction? It's time to delve into the murky waters of myths and misconceptions and how they contribute to the stigma surrounding mental health, particularly for men. Let's shine a light on these shadows of doubt and misinformation. Firstly, there's this widespread belief that real men don't cry, that they should always be strong, unfazed by emotional turmoil. This is a dangerous myth as it discourages men from expressing their emotions, leading to suppressed feelings and untreated mental health issues. The truth is, emotions are part of being human, not a sign of weakness. It takes strength to acknowledge, express and manage emotions. Another common misconception is that mental health problems are a sign of personal failure or lack of willpower. The reality, however, is that mental health issues are medical conditions, just like physical illnesses. They can affect anyone, regardless of personal strength or character. They are not a sign of weakness, but a testament to the struggles one has endured. You may have also heard that talking about mental health issues won't make a difference. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Opening up about mental health can be a cathartic experience. It can provide relief, understanding, and the first step towards recovery. Then there's the myth that seeking help is a burden to others. This misconception can discourage men from reaching out for the support they need. It's essential to remember that it's okay to ask for help, and there are professionals and support networks eager to provide it. Lastly, there's the dangerous belief that mental health issues are permanent and irreversible. This is simply not true. With the right help and treatment, people can and do recover from mental health issues every single day. These myths and misconceptions contribute to the stigma around mental health, preventing men from seeking the help they need. Remember, awareness is the first step towards change. By debunking these myths, we can start to break down the barriers to mental health support. Myths, after all, are just that, myths. How then can we break free from these chains of stigma and silence? Let's step into the world of solutions and liberation. The chains are strong, but so are we. To begin with, we must challenge the stigma. This can be as simple as correcting a friend when they use mental health as a punchline, or as complex as advocating for systemic change in the way our society views mental health. Every action, no matter how small, chips away at the chains. Next, we need to open up the conversation around mental health. We all have mental health, just as we all have physical health. It's time we start treating it as such. Talk about it. With your friends, with your family, with your colleagues. Make it as normal as discussing a cold or a broken arm. This normalization is a powerful tool in breaking down stigma. Seeking professional help is another crucial step. Just as you wouldn't hesitate to see a doctor for a physical ailment, don't hesitate to seek help for your mental health. It's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength and self-awareness. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, and it's more than okay to ask for help. Lastly, let's support others who are struggling. Reach out. Listen, be there. Sometimes the simplest gestures can mean the world to someone fighting a battle you can't see. Empathy and understanding can go a long way in helping someone feel less alone, less stigmatized. It's a journey, a long and winding path, but every step forward is a step toward breaking the chains of stigma. Every conversation, every act of understanding, every bit of professional help sought is a link broken in the chain. And remember, we're in this together. You are not alone, we are not alone. We can and we will break free from these chains. So let's challenge, converse, seek help, support and repeat. Let's break the chains, not the person. Break the chains, not the person. What if I told you there's hope on the horizon? Indeed, the world is beginning to awaken to the reality of mental health. No longer is it a whispered secret hidden in the shadows of our society. We are beginning to pull back the curtains, shed light on the darkness, and talk about it openly, honestly. For far too long, we've been reluctant to address mental health, particularly among men, but the winds of change are blowing. The conversation is shifting. We're recognizing that strength isn't about bottling up emotions, but about having the courage to face them, to seek help when needed. We see it in the media, in schools and workplaces, in our homes. There's a palpable shift in how we perceive mental health. The stigma is lessening gradually but surely. It's a slow journey, but we're on the right path. We're seeing an increase in resources dedicated to mental health. Therapies, support groups, hotlines and online platforms are becoming more accessible. And these resources are not just about treatment, but also about prevention and education. They're about providing a safe space for people to express their feelings, to share their struggles without judgment or prejudice. But this change isn't just happening out there. it's happening within us too. Each of us has a role to play in this transformation. It's about how we talk about mental health, how we react when someone opens up about their struggles, how we support those who are fighting battles we may not fully understand. It's about empathy. It's about understanding. It's about breaking down the walls of silence and shame that have kept us isolated for so long. It's about creating a culture where it's not just okay to talk about mental health, but it's encouraged, it's supported, it's celebrated. So yes, there is hope on the horizon. A hope for a world where mental health is given as much importance as physical health. A hope for a world where no one has to suffer in silence. A hope for a world where seeking help isn't seen as a sign of weakness, but as a sign of strength. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, and it's perfectly okay to seek help.